Hi everyone, welcome to the launch of our machine learning Zoomcamp. This is our free course about machine learning engineering. So right now, from today, it's going to take 4 to 5 months to finish. This is a very exciting journey and it's not an easy one, but when you finish, you will appreciate it. All the hard work you will put. And this is the fourth time we run the course. First time we ran the course was like, I think during COVID 2021. Yeah. So yeah, it's been around for some time already, and many people find it really helpful. And I'm really excited today, now with all of you here, to start it for the fourth time. So before we started the stream, I ran a small poll to see if you have any prior experience with machine learning. 85 of you, 80, 55, 58, sorry, of you. So, because I'm in Germany you say not 58, you say 8 and 5. And because I need to actually use German and like with numbers, my brain is just, it's messed up. Anyways, so 58% of you actually have prior experience with machine learning. And while you do not need any prior experience with machine learning for this course, you will probably find it helpful. And it's also interesting to see what is your motivation to join the course if you already have some prior experience. Maybe you want to learn about to go more into the engineering side of things. Maybe you want to deepen your knowledge about machine learning. So maybe write this in the live chat. It would be interesting for me to check. But let us start. So this is how our course looks like. So this is a screenshot from one of the units from the first module, I think, or maybe second. Yeah, second, because in the second module we talk about linear regression. So it's very hands-on. We do a lot of coding, and I try to explain all the concepts, all the mathematical concepts. There are not so many of them, but when we talk about them, I try to explain all these concepts with code. Because this way, for me, when I was transitioning to machine learning, to data science, I found that through coding, I was able to understand mathematics and the ideas behind mathematics best. So this is that's why this is the approach I use in the course. So there is a formula here, and then it's explained in code. You will see things like that throughout the course. And this course is based on a book. So I wrote this book some time ago, like 4 and a half years ago, maybe 5. So it's been around for some time too. And this course is based on the book. You don't need the book to actually do the course, but if you decide to have some supporting material as you go along the course, yeah, it's a good idea. And I'll also get a cut when you buy. So this is one of the ways, if you like the course, this is one of the ways of supporting it. But as I said, the course is free. You don't need to pay anything to have access to the materials of the course. And then there is a certificate of completion at the end. And again, if you want, you can have the book to use along with the course, but you don't have to. Right? So this is the plan for today. So first, we will talk about the course, syllabus, prerequisites, who is behind, and then we'll talk about the course logistics, we'll talk about our Slack, and we'll talk about supporting us, and finally, we'll have our section with questions. So that's the plan. And I think it's a bit out of order, but anyways, so you see these two faces. So these are the people behind the course. Timur is our teaching assistant. He was one of the first graduates. He took the course, the first edition of the course, and ever since he has been around in the community, helping out with other courses, helping with this course too, with homework, with answering questions. And I know he has a busy life, and I want to say thank you to you, Timur, for all your help. And yeah, so please, everyone, like the video to say thanks to Timur. And oh, I see familiar faces in chat. Hi, Lush. So Lush is another student who did our first edition of the data engineering course. We have a bunch of courses, so this course that we start now is just one of them. But we have by now 5 courses, and we'll have probably more. But anyways, so these 2 people are the people behind the course. Timur is a machine learning engineer, and right now I focus fully on education and DataTalks.Club. I do a lot of side projects, but my main focus is the community and courses, running courses. But I was in data science for quite some time, and I still try to keep my hands on, like, do not lose touch with the things that are happening in the industry. I was a data scientist for quite some time, like roughly 10 years maybe. And before that, I was a Java developer. So in this course is kind of quintessential, what do I say? Like basically what I used in order to transition from being a Java developer to a machine learning engineer to a data scientist. And I, as an engineer, found a good way that worked for me. And as I later discovered, works for many other people to learn about machine learning. And this is what you will learn in this course. So what you need for this course is you need to be good, not good, but like depends. Good is subjective, but you need to have some prior experience with programming. So seeing code should not scare you, and you should be able to read it and write code. This is the most important thing, right? So you need to be able to do this. Ideally, you already know Python, but if you know well any other programming language, like C++, Java, whatever, JavaScript, then for you picking Python should not be a problem because we use only a small subset of Python. And in general, in data science and machine learning, you don't need to know Python in depth, at least at the beginning, right? At some point when I don't know, like there could be times when you really need to go deeply in Python, but usually it's super simple stuff like, I don't know, if statements. Most of the time you might not even need classes, right? You will not need classes for this course, just functions, just if statements, loops, and so on. And then you also need to be comfortable with command line, so navigating the file system, using Git and things like that. Right? Also, while this is a prerequisite, I know that many students who took the course and successfully passed did not have that. It was very difficult for them, but at the end they managed. So if you also feel like, okay, command line, what is he talking about? It might be challenging for you, but if you are really motivated, then you can get through. And then what is not required is previous experience with machine learning. Okay, so this is the thing that you will use for interacting with the course. All the content is published on GitHub, and the link is mlzoomcamp.com. It redirects to GitHub repo, and I will put it here in the chat. So now everyone can go. And of course, you should not forget to give us a star. And I will, wait. So here. So if you're watching this from, so if you have your mobile phone right now, so what you can do is just use this QR code. And I want to ask you to help us spread the word about the course. And for that, I want to ask you to give this course a star. This is very helpful for us because if all of you right now, we have almost 400 people who are right now in this live stream. If all of you now go to GitHub and give us a star, Then the course, the repo will be in GitHub trending. And when it is in GitHub trending in trends, then other people will see it and they will think, okay, what is that? And they will also want to join the course. So I will give you a moment to do that, and then we will talk about what is actually in the repo. While you're giving us a star, I think I will go here. I don't know what happened, why all of a sudden now the star is here. Okay. And here I think I still have the old description. So the slides you see are from last year, largely. There are, if you watched like the stream from the last year is also available on our YouTube channel, you can check it too. There are some minor differences. What? There's 404? No, like I just clicked. So I have this in my phone. I just clicked on the link and it's not 404. Maybe try clicking one more time. But also the link is actually here in the description under the video. So you can click here too. Yes, go to site. So this is the GitHub repo that we use, and it has all the information we need. So here, if you scroll down, you will see like there is some information. The important part is you scroll down and you see this syllabus starting here, right? So this is module 1, this is module 2, this is module 3. So I think it's more or less self-explanatory. So this is how you follow content, like all these things are clickable. So you can click here, you can go to, I don't know, introduction to machine learning. You can watch this video, you can check notes. There are notes from the community, and then you go to the next one. And this is more or less it. Like this is how you navigate through the course content. Some people find it more useful to go to use just YouTube, because on YouTube we have a playlist. So this is the playlist. You go through this playlist like it's ordered. But this way, if you just use the playlist, you don't see the notes. So there are a lot of notes. And actually, so if you go one level up, you see the community notes. So many community members share the notes with all of us, all of you. So yeah, you can check them. And many students said that it's very useful to actually have the notes and watch the videos at the same time. So this is more or less the repo. Another important link is you go to cohorts and 2024, and this folder will contain all the information that is relevant for this specific cohort, in particular homework. So this is the homework. The homework is already prepared. For this module, we will talk about this later. But in general, this is where you find the information relevant for this specific cohort. And in the root of the repo, you find like the modules. So this is more or less it. Again, please give us a star. This is very important. This way, like if you do this, it will help us spread the knowledge, the word about the course, and more people will learn about the course, and the course is free. So we want everyone who is interested in learning machine learning to actually discover this course and join our community. Now, what I will do is actually go through each of the modules, and I will talk about the content of these modules. This is something like you saw the models, you saw how to go there. I just want to give you a brief overview of what exactly you're going to learn. So in the first module, we will talk about machine learning. So what machine learning is, and what kind of like how you can use it, and we will also do We will also learn the libraries that are needed, like Python and NumPy, and we will also do a refresher on linear algebra. So for some of you, it will not be a refresher. You will actually be learning linear algebra. For some of you, maybe you learned linear algebra at school, at university, but forgot it. So here in this module, we will also talk about linear algebra. And by that, I mean, so this very broad subject, we will only cover matrix multiplication here. And this is one of the most important things when it comes to machine learning, at least using machine learning. The matrix multiplication is one of the most important things. So we will again use code to explain all the concepts. So this is what you will do in the first module, right? And we will also talk about the process. So I think, yeah, there are 3 slides, like how to approach a machine learning project. And this is the linear algebra part I was talking about. So you'll see a lot of handwriting from me. I don't have this tablet anymore. I used to have it, and I had a pen, so I would draw a lot, and you will see all that in the course. So this is module 1. So this is an introduction and like the important libraries, all the prerequisites you need to actually follow the course. And then in the second module, we will talk about regression. So the regression problem is predicting a number. So you have a set of what we call features, like things that describe the items. And then for these items, we want to predict a number. So in this particular case, we will work on a project for car price prediction. So we'll have a bunch of cars, and our goal will be predicting the price for these cars. Then in module 3, we will talk about the classification problem. So before we were predicting a number, here we will predict a binary outcome. So the example, the project we will implement as a part of this module will be churn prediction. So we have some customers of an internet company, of a telecom provider. And based on the behavior of these users, we might understand that, okay, this user is likely to cancel the contract with us soon. And we will use different behavioral patterns, like how long they have been with us, what is the contract length, and so on, right? So there are some features, some descriptions of each of the users, and based on that, we will predict if they're going to leave, to stop using our services or not, right? And an application of that would be, if we know that the user is going to leave, what we can do to try to stop them from leaving is maybe send them a discount and convince them to actually stay. And then we will continue using this example of churn prediction, this is a binary classification case, and we will see how to evaluate the quality of our model. So this will be module 4, and this is probably one of the most difficult modules in the course. So it's somewhat abstract, somewhat like it takes some time to understand it, to grasp the concepts here. But this is also one of the most important modules, because you need to be able to know how well your model is doing, and this is what we will cover in this module. And then once we did all that, once we built the model, once we evaluated the model, and we think that this model is good, the next step is serving this model or deploying this model. So this is what we will cover in module 5, and this is where the engineering part starts, because this is a course about machine learning engineering, and this is where the actual fun starts, right? Here, we will build a web service that you send some details about the customer, and then it will respond with the probability that this customer is going to churn. So we'll continue using the model we developed in the previous modules, and we will deploy it. Because if we don't do this, if our model is just a Jupyter notebook that we use to train it, then it's not useful, right? In order to make a model useful, we need to use it, right? And this is what we'll cover in that module, in module 5. After that, we will come back again to machine learning, and we'll talk about tree-based models. So things like decision tree, random forest, and XGBoost, gradient boosting trees. And here we will have another binary classification project. So here we will think, we will build a model for deciding whether a customer should be approved a loan or not. And we have some previous history. We know which customers did not manage to pay to return the credit, which customers managed to pay back the loan, right? And based on that, we see, okay, like looks like this customer will not be able to pay back the loan. If we give the credit, then maybe we shouldn't give the credit. So this will be a project in the next module in tree-based models, right? So here we will learn about trees, and then with all that, you're already ready to work on the project. So in the project, you will put in practice everything you learned, and here your goal, your task will be to find a data set that is somewhat similar to what we talked about, should be a regression or classification model problem, binary classification, and basically repeat what we did, but yourself. And this will be a midterm project. So here you want to solidify what you learned. And after that, after you complete the midterm project, we will cover neural networks. So we will talk about image classification, and we will, the project will be, we have different pictures of cloth items, like t-shirts, like pants, like hats, like, I don't know what else is there, like long sleeve, and we will need to classify them. So if we have an image of a t-shirt, we want to say that this is a t-shirt. If we have an image of a pair of jeans, we want to say it's pants, right? So this is what we will do. So we will build a neural network for doing that. And later we will also learn how to serve this model. So we have a neural network, and we will talk about taking this neural network and putting this inside AWS Lambda. So this is probably one of the, this is the model where you will need to have access to the cloud if you want to actually deploy it, but also you can do these things locally. So you don't have to have AWS account. It will be helpful if you do, because you can actually deploy it, but also many of these things can be done locally, right? And then finally, we will talk about Kubernetes. Even though this course is around for the 4th time, Kubernetes is still the standard for deploying things in the industry. So here we will talk about some internals of Kubernetes, like how it works, what is deployment, what is pod, and so on. And then we will see how to actually deploy something similar. So we'll again use the same neural network, but we will deploy it to Kubernetes. We will use TensorFlow serving. We will use Keras. We will use Flask to actually, and we'll use Kubernetes to deploy all that to Kubernetes, right? And also optionally, you can get a Kubernetes cluster from AWS and deploy it there too. And finally, and this is optional, so there is a thing on top of Kubernetes that is called Kserve, which is so Kubernetes is a general purpose container orchestration framework, or I don't know how you call it. But there are things on top of Kubernetes that are created specifically for serving machine learning models, and Kserve is one of them. So we will also see how to deploy this model using Kserve. And this is an optional model because it's somewhat advanced. And actually, like, I don't know if the code from this model still works. It should be. Last year it worked, but this thing is evolving faster than Kubernetes. So Kubernetes is pretty stable. We don't need to update it, update the content. But like with this one, yeah, if you're interested, you can check it out, but also it's optional. And after that, we'll have a few more things. So we'll have a capstone project. It's very similar to midterm, but you will also be able to use neural networks, Lambda functions from AWS and Kubernetes and whatnot. And also, if you want to learn something extra and you want to share it with the community, you will be able to write about that and submit an article about what you learn. We will also have a competition. I did not mention it here, so maybe let me competition. So this last year's last two iterations we had deep learning competitions about image classification. So this year it will be a different one. So this year we will work with time series. So this is something we do not cover in the course, but we invite you to explore this topic yourself and build a model for doing, I think, demand forecasting. So it will be a time series model. Okay, so this is roughly the course and what you will learn in the course. And now we will talk about how you learn, like how we organize all that. So all the lessons, all the videos are pre-recorded. They are already on our YouTube channel. I already showed you how you can access them. So they are in the playlist or in the GitHub repo. So all the links are there. You just so usually we start a module. For a module, we have a week or two, and during this time, you watch the content, you watch the videos, and then you follow along the videos. Then you do the homework. Sometimes we have office hours, but we had already quite a few office hours last year, last iterations. So we will not have office hours frequently. So probably we will have like one or two more in addition to this one, where we will answer your questions. So probably there will be one before the project. Yeah, well, at least one. Let's see if we need another one. But I also think that you should check the previous iterations, so the previous office hours, because there is a lot of information. And the reason we don't have office hours anymore, because the questions tend to be more or less the same. So I don't see a point of kind of answering the same questions. So please check the videos. They are quite useful and you will find them. So there are 3 playlists for 2021, 2022, 2023. And already last year, we did not have many office hours, so you probably are most interested in the first two, right? And then when it comes to the project, you work on a project for 2 weeks, and then there is another week after that for peer reviewing. So we rely on peer reviewing for evaluating your projects, which means that after you complete your project, you will need to evaluate your peers. And usually you will need to evaluate 3 peers. So the same students as you, and there's a list of criteria that you need to use in order to evaluate the project. I think we have some examples here, but we can talk about this later. But project is very important, and this is this is the most important thing in this course, being able to do a project. And this is why we only rely on projects in order to decide if we award a certificate or not. So in order to get a certificate of completion at the end of this course, you need to finish midterm project and a capstone project. Or, well, there are 3 projects and you need to finish 2 of them. So it could be capstone 1, capstone 2. If, for example, you discover this course in November and you don't have time to complete midterm project, then you can just complete 2 capstones, right? So you need to complete 2 out of 3 projects in order to graduate from the course. And we don't care about your homeworks. We don't care about like competition, article. This is all good. But this is for you, right? So you use it to make sure you understand the content of the model. But at the end, what we care about is whether you can do something independently, like a project of your own. So let me just show you how you can find this playlist I talked about. So you go to our channel. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So it's almost 50K. So if like even half of you are not subscribed, then we're moving pretty close to 50K. So yeah, don't forget to do that. Okay, so you go to playlist, and then you will see a lot of playlists. So this one, Machine Learning Zoomcamp 2024, is the playlist for this cohort. So we'll have all the live streams that are related to this edition, homework solutions, all that things you will find there. But then we also have machine learning Zoomcamp from the last year, from 2022 and 2021. So these ones, you can see that there are like 18 videos, 28 videos. So they have a lot of information, and I encourage you to check these two, because we had office hours every week, and there's a lot of extra information that you will find quite useful. So please check it out. And then the main course content is here. So this is like supplementary content, but here machine learning Zoomcamp, this is the main modules, the main units, like the main content. And you can see like all these videos. So this is the same thing as you see in the repo. Okay, so where are we here? Yeah, still a few things to talk about. So we talked about certificates. So certificate you need, in order to obtain the certificate, you need to pass the projects. Then there is FAQ. So this is all the frequently asked questions accumulated over all the 3 times we run the course. So this is how it looks like. You will find the link in the repo, I think somewhere here. Yeah, FAQ here. So this is the link. And this is the document. This document has answers to pretty much any question you can think of. Well, I think you can get creative and come up with questions that are not here yet. But what we should do in this case is put the question here and the answer too, right? So then we will not have a situation that like there is a question that doesn't have any answer. So yeah, so this is your to-go document for pretty much every question. And the way you should use it is like, let's say you have a problem or question. Your algorithm is first you check this document. If you cannot find a question here, your question here and the answer, then you go to Slack, right? And in Slack, we have this amazing thing. So this thing is called Zoomcamp Q&A bot, which is developed by one of our community members, Alex. So thanks, Alex, a lot for developing this bot. So what this bot does is it indexes the FAQ document, it indexes all the course, all the Slack content, the channel content, and also the GitHub repo. And if this question was ever asked before, and you can just ask it, and you will receive an answer. So this is a convenient interface to the FAQ document. But because it uses AI, also treat the questions handle it with care, because as you might know that AI models sometimes hallucinate. So double check, but 99%, 99.9% of the time is correct and it's useful. So this is something you should make use of. So this document, the bot, very important. And I would suggest to still check this document first, but the bot is also a convenient way of accessing the same information. Homeworks. For homeworks, we have this website. It's courses.datatalks.club. So I will show you how you log in. So you use, I don't know, GitHub or Google. Some people reported problems with GitHub if you get server error 500. I need to take a look at that. I know many of you reported this problem. But if for some reasons you experience that, just use Google. So Google works fine. And then you go to Machine Learning Zoomcamp. You do not need to explicitly enroll in the course. It does not matter if you signed up to the Airtable form or not. Like anyone who logs into this platform can access this. And then we have the first homework here. So the actual homework, I think we have a link here, but I showed you how to find the cohort materials, right? So you go to cohorts, you go to 2024, and you scroll down here, homework, and this is the homework. So you need to install you need to prepare the environment, you need to prepare to install pandas, and then the first question is like, what's the version of pandas? And then you get the output, you put it here, and then you go to the next point. And the next question is, you need to count records. So there's a data set that we use. Here it is. And then you count how many records in this data set, and you provide the answer. So for example, it's 12, and the version of pandas is 01, right? And then very important, you submit your homework to, usually it's GitHub, or maybe you do it in Google Colab. GitHub is probably the best place to store your homework. And then there is a notebook that you put to GitHub, and you put the link here in the homework URL. So let's say this is my solution, right? And I'll talk about other fields here, like learning in public. But then, and by the way, here FAQ contribution is, we want to encourage you to contribute to FAQ. So that's why if you contributed something, you can say here, this I created a record for, I don't know, whatever. So you describe here what exactly you did for FAQ contribution. Okay, and then, so this is how you submit your homework. And then we will have a leaderboard. Right now we don't. So the leaderboard appears after we score the first homework. When you will see results, you will also see a leaderboard. So I will show you how a leaderboard looks like. I'll take a different course, this LLM Zoomcamp. So here all the homeworks are already scored. And this is how the leaderboard looks like, right? So you see that there are people, students, course participants who take part in the course, and then they have scores here, right? So there is a leaderboard, and you can also decide to put your real name here, or like there is a generated anonymous name, so you can use your real name if you want. You can also put your GitHub URL, your LinkedIn URL if you don't want to be anonymous. And actually, like everything you submit, like for example, if you submitted, what did I submit here? I think I closed it. Yes, I closed it. But basically, your homework submission will be visible here. So you you must not put any random links, because actually, if you put a random link here, it will be visible. But in this case, this is a valid link, so all good. So this is how you use the platform. I think we have a few more things. Yeah, so this course management platform, I talked about this. And then my favorite part is learning in public. So when it comes to learning in public, so we have an article about this learning in public, right? So which describes the idea. I don't know what happened with images. It describes the idea of what learning in the public actually is. So I will tell you now, but you can read here more about that. And like there are videos. Okay, I need to fix this broken images, but like there is a video that describes that in more details. So definitely check it out. So what learning in public is. And by the way, so before I start that, so why points, right? So you see that there are points. Because homework is optional, but we still want you to encourage to do homework. And for each correctly completed question, you get a point. You also get 1 point for FAQ contribution, and you get up to 7 points for learning in public. I will talk about learning in public right now, but this is typically the maximum score you can get for one module, for one homework. And then like, yeah, you can see here. And then like we sum across all these points, and this is the score you have on the leaderboard. Of course, there's also like for projects, maybe for projects, I'll show you another course, right? So if we take a look at Eduardo's submission, here we have projects, right? So then This is the project. And we can also see, oops, learning in public links. And maybe, like, I don't know if this is a good link or not. Let's check. So here, yeah. So what Eduardo is doing is sharing his progress. And this is a great example of a learning in public post. So this is what we want to encourage you to do. So we want to encourage you to share what you learn. And this is useful for many, many things. And I'm talking about these things here. Feel free to check it. Like, I don't know, getting a job, expanding your network, being invited to meetups, you name it. Like, there are many, many, many benefits for learning in public. And we want to encourage you to do that. It also helps promote our course. So, which is why for each link you share on social media, you get a point in this. And then again, like at the end, these points don't matter. So it's up to you to decide if you want to be part of that or not, if you care about the points or not. At the end, the only thing that matters is if you pass a course or not. And you might decide not to do anything, just complete the course. And if you pass just complete the project. And if you pass the project, then you get a certificate, right? So we can see that Eduardo passed the project. Okay, so I see that there is a question. If I can please share the link for the homework, I can show you where you can find it. So first of all, you can find the link to the course management. So you go to this cohort folder. And then there is this course management platform link. And then actually in the homework, if you scroll down, you can also find the form for submitting the homework. It might be fast, but this is recorded, so you can just come back to this video and check it later. Okay, so where are we? Learning in public, yeah. So I really like learning in public. I said that it can give you many benefits, and the idea there is you don't learn in private. Learning in private means that you just learn something and you keep it to yourself. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can do more. And in particular, you can share what you learn. And this increases your visibility. Then other people who are learning also this thing can start following you. And as your career progresses, you start learning, you start sharing more and more things. So over time, you build your network this way. So where you can post stuff for learning in public? So the usual places like LinkedIn and Twitter, I should say X here, are good places. Then also you can create a blog on Medium, or I don't know, Hashnode, what are the other places? Basically somewhere where you can publish written content, right? Also people post on Facebook, on Instagram, on Threads. Threads? Yeah, like this, like Twitter-like clone from Facebook. So yeah. This is an example of learning of a learning in public link, but I already showed you another example. You can just go through other courses. The leaderboards are open there. You can just check the participants, how they share. Not all of their posts are good. So some of their posts is, hey, today I learned about neural networks, and that's it. This is an awful post. So these people are just gaming the system to get the points. I don't understand why you would want to do this, like, because it's real, like it's not real points, it's just virtual points. But because everyone can go and check this, it kind of makes you also, how to say, like, because everyone will see what you post, so it makes you a little bit more careful, let's say. So not just put some garbage out there that is not useful, but actually come up with good, well-written posts like Thinam here did. And this is a very good example. And actually, this was not a part of our course. So Thinam was doing this for a very long time, even before our first edition. But I think like this is such a good example of how you learn something and share, and you will become known for this thing, because he has quite a lot of followers. And this is another example. So Jessica, she was taking the first course, first edition, and then she wrote a blog post and shared it. Right, and then you use the course management platform where you have this learning in public links. So you can add up to 7 links per homework. Like it depends, usually it's up to 7. And the logic here is there is 7 days in a week. So you probably learn something new every day. So you can put at most 7 links. Could be all links to LinkedIn, could be posts to LinkedIn and Twitter, like whatever, how you want to do it. Okay, next. Oh, this is my favorite slide. So, uh, like if you're still not sure why you should do this, just read this. So I already finished reading. Maybe I'll give you a couple more seconds to finish. But yeah, you can see how it could be useful, right? Okay, so, and I keep copy pasting this slide to all our courses, like when we have the launch streams, like for all the courses. So Michael did this for data engineering Zoomcamp, but I have this slide in ML Zoomcamp, in data engineering Zoomcamp, in MLOps Zoomcamp, in LLM Zoomcamp, and in all the future courses that, because not everyone shares like such a good example, but believe me, there are many benefits. So in case of Michael, that was a very obvious benefit, but you also get less obvious benefits like network and so on. Okay, so what else is not covered? We talked about the leaderboard, right? We talked about projects, did we? Yeah, I can just quickly talk about that too. Again, so here there is a section with projects. I can show you how it looks for other courses. So you put the, it should be on GitHub. You put the GitHub link here, you fill other things and you submit, right? And then there is also a part where you evaluate your peers. So you do that, and actually you have to evaluate your peers. If you don't, you will not get a certificate at the end. And I think it's pretty straightforward. We'll talk more about that when actually before midterm project. Okay. So what's next? Slack. Okay. I'll just for a second stop sharing my screen. And I just want to give you a short tour in our Slack. But for that, I want to open it. Okay, so just I'm still trying to figure out how I join. Okay, so I'll just usually I have a special test account where I show my way around Slack, but I think I will just show my main account. Okay, so this is our Slack. So you will not see it like that. I have a lot of channels. You will see only 4, right? And this is the important channel. So this is where all the interaction for this particular course happens. And you can join, you can find this channel by, so let me leave it. So you can find it by, where it is, add channel, browse channels. And then you do you type course ML Zoomcamp, and then you join. Right? So this is how you find the course channel. And yeah, this is a super short tour in Slack, so there are many things. And remember that the Slack is not just for the course. There are many other things happening. So don't just write in general and expect everyone knows what you're talking about. You first need to join the course channel and then ask your questions there. If I come across a question, a course-related question outside of this channel, I will simply delete this because I don't have mental energy to write to each one of you saying, hey, you should not do this. I just say it once here, and then if something is posted outside of that channel, I'll be deleting it. Yeah, so here are the rules. So I think these are like use the course channel. And by the way, this QR code is for the link to the course channel. Then check FAQ, use threads. And by using threads, I mean, so here, for example, when will the homework be updated? And we can say, yeah, it's already updated, right? So you always use threads, and if a question does not have a response yet, then you, how do you actually do this? Oh, reply in thread, and then you reply something. Yeah. And please don't tag me or Timur. We will see this eventually. And then we have also Telegram channel. So we actually have two things. So Telegram channel and Slack. So the main difference between the two is in Telegram, we use Telegram only for announcements, and we use Slack for communication between us. So if you have a question and this question is not in FAQ, then you should use Slack, right? You should not use Telegram for questions. And you might not want to install Telegram because it's yet another app. It's totally fine because we have this amazing bot called Automator that shares everything here. So every time I make a post in Telegram, it shares it here in Slack. So if for whatever reasons you don't want to have Telegram, totally fine. The bot will repost all the things to Slack. But it's very convenient because there are only announcements, there are nothing else. In Slack, you will see all other questions, all other problems. So then it's very easy to lose the announcement, right? To miss the announcement because of the other things. Here, there will be only announcements. Okay, I think I talked about that. Don't ask questions in Telegram. We don't monitor them there, and use Slack for questions. Okay, so I think a few things. I've been already talking for a very long time. So first of all, like this course is free, and I want to thank one of our sponsors, Saturn Cloud. So Saturn Cloud is they provide so we will use Jupyter notebooks, and they provide hosted Jupyter notebooks in the cloud. And oftentimes you need access to special hardware. For example, in the deep learning module where you want to train a neural network, usually you need a GPU for that. Just training a neural network on your laptop takes a lot of time. And in these cases, you want to use GPUs. Saturn Cloud provides notebooks with this hardware, with GPUs, and we've been working with Saturn Cloud for, this is our third year when we do things together. So I'm very happy that I'm very thankful for support from Saturn Cloud. And it's also a great opportunity because you get all the students of this course will be able to use GPU hours available on Saturn Cloud, so you will not need to pay for GPUs in order to train neural network. You can use Saturn Cloud. So this way, we also this year we also partner with them, but you will know more about Saturn Cloud when we do the deep learning module. And yeah, again, this So they sponsor us so we can run these courses for free. But also, if you are, as an individual, want to say thank you to me personally, there is a link to my GitHub page for sponsoring, so you can buy me, like, I don't know, you can give me like $10 or something. So the easiest way to find this is you go to my GitHub profile, and then there's this link, support me on GitHub. And then you can give me a one-time donation, like I'll send you a virtual hug for $10 or 2 hugs for 25. And of course, you can also do like a monthly thing. So this is one of the ways to say thank you to me personally. And also with the book, when you buy a book, I get a cut. It's not a lot. Mostly the money goes to the publisher. Here, all the money you donate goes to me. And also in Germany, the donations are tax-free. So everything you donate actually goes to me personally. So if you give me $5, I get $5. And then I can go buy, what can I buy for $5? I don't know, cola. I don't drink cola, but you get the point, right? So if you want to thank me, this is a very good way of doing that. Okay, so I think that's it. Took quite some time. I thought I would finish earlier, but I know you have a lot of questions. So let me quickly open them. So let me see. Cool. So I'll answer some of them. I need to get some water, so I'll be right back. So there is a comment that I can buy donor for $5. Sadly, it's no longer the case. So previously, in previous editions, I say, yeah, if you donate $5, I can go buy myself a donor. But with inflation now, like you cannot really buy a donor for 5 years anymore. So the good ones start at 650 and euros, not dollars. Yeah, sadly. Okay, so let's start with questions. How this course will help? I am looking for data science role. I know only basics of Python and SQL. Oh, first of all, like, sorry that I sound judgmental, but can't you just type how this course will help? I am looking for a data scientist role. I know only basics of Python and SQL, like punctuation. Sorry about that, but like, and then maybe it's a perfectionist in me. Anyways, like this course will help you because you will learn now machine learning, and this is very helpful for data scientists to know machine learning. You will know the basics, but already enough. You will learn evaluation metrics, and you will learn to deploy your models. And so this is, I would say, like 70% of what you need for the work. You will also need a lot of business skills and communication skills that we do not cover in this course, but you will learn them by practice. I would say what we talk about here is enough to get an entry-level position. And then from there, like the learning never stops, right? So here we give you an introduction, and with this knowledge, with this foundation, you continue learning. So learning does not stop. You should not expect that you take the course and you're 100% ready. It will not be the case. So we selected the most important things for you to work as a data scientist or machine learning engineer. But of course, there will always be cases where you will need to do something outside of this course. What books do you recommend to fast track my learning along with this course? Looking for something practical to apply at work. Books are great, but what I would recommend is not a book. I know you ask for a book, but I'll start first with non-book recommendation, and then we'll talk about the book. So I suggest to focus on projects. And to focus on projects, you don't need books. So you just take a project, you do it, you get stuck, you try to get unstuck, and you learn this way. And a book is great. And if a book like Machine Learning Bootcamp that I wrote, it focuses on projects, but also it kind of hand holds you through the process. But when you're left alone with the project, then this is when you really learn. Because usually nothing goes according to the plan. Like you will get stuck in on things that you did not anticipate, and this is where you really learn. And luckily today we have tools like ChatGPT that help you super fast. Like previously you would need to spend so much time on Stack Overflow looking for answers, and right now you just need to copy the stack trace to ChatGPT and you solve it, right? So this is one thing. So I would recommend to focus on projects. We will show you how you can create these projects in this course. You can create more projects, of course, in addition to what we do here. And I think this is what you should do. You should focus on building your portfolio. This will really fast track your learning. Okay, that's one thing. You talked about the books. Practical machine. Yeah, this one. No, not this one. Like this book with a lizard. Lizard book? Oh, really? Yeah, this one. Well, I've heard this is an excellent book, so you can check this out. I of course can recommend my book, Machine Learning Bootcamp, but like honestly, you will not learn anything that is not covered in the course. So the course and the book have the same content. So if you want something in addition, then I've heard that this is an awesome book. You can check it out too. But again, I would recommend instead of doing another book, just do projects. How to find a realistic data set for the projects? Would Kaggle data set cater to the need, or would you help in finding a realistic data set for the project? Kaggle is an awesome source of projects, so like of data sets for projects. This is excellent. Like you can find a great data set there. Then we actually have links, I think. Do we? There should be links. If we go to projects, FAQ, oh, data sets. So here. So there are some links to data sets. You can also check past projects to see what kind of data sets they use. And of course, we are always happy to help if you get stuck. But Kaggle is really great source. And like realistic, like it doesn't have to be super realistic, right? Of course, if you decide to build your own data set for your project, this is like awesome. You will not get extra points for that in this course, but you will get extra points like, let's say in real life, in terms of your in terms of how interesting the project is. Let's say you want to talk about this project with a hiring manager, right? And then because this is something you care about so much that you went through the process of collecting a data set yourself, then it shows that you're really passionate about this thing, and this passion will, like the hiring managers will see that. And like I really like when I was hiring people, this is really cool when I talk to candidates who really like what they built. They are really proud of what they built, and they can talk a lot about that, and they can explain like every single detail, and this is really cool. But again, like it's not required for the project. Like you can just select random data set on Kaggle, and that's good. What's the estimated daily time need to be spent to grasp and consume the course? I'm a newbie and want to little delve deep to understand the concepts and learn. So it depends really on your background. So I would say between 5 and 20 hours. So if you're totally new to programming, then it's more like towards 20. If you're an experienced developer, then it's more like 5, right? Some modules are more complex, more difficult than others. Like for example, we did some analytics, and we found out that the module 4 about evaluation is the most difficult in terms of time people spend on that. So there you will need more time. I think the deep learning model was also like one of those difficult ones too. Starting a year in ML at 30 years old, do you think I'm too late? Will be opportunities to work in that field for me? Of course, will be opportunities. Of course, it's not late. And like I live in Germany, and in Germany, many people just start their career in 30. And if you already have done something before that, like that's awesome. It's definitely not too late. Can I start now? Yes, we all start now. Like today is kind of the start day. So yes, please start now. Could you please talk more about Capstone Project 1 and 2 and how to publish the article? I'll talk about that later, because like the article will happen somewhere in January. There is still a lot of time. The main idea is you pick something that we do not cover in the course and you learn, you write something about that, right? That's the idea behind the article. Like all the logistics you learn later, but that's the gist. Capstone 1 and 2 are more or less the same as midterm, except then you can also use neural networks there or in Kubernetes. But you need to complete 2 out of 3 projects in order to graduate. So this is typically midterm and one of the capstones. Right, so you don't need to complete all 3. So you can choose either capstone 1 or 2. At least this is the idea. Some people find the course late, so they need to catch up. They don't have time for midterm. And then for them, capstone 1 and 2 are the 2 projects they will complete. Would it suffice to upload the projects only to Streamlit and not do any cloud hosting platform to earn the certificate? No, it will not be sufficient, because this is a machine learning engineering course. This is not a data science course. So maybe for a data science course, it would be sufficient, but no, here you will need to create an API, you will need to put it to Docker, you will need to put this to the cloud, and it should be a web service, not Streamlit. So it will not, you will not be able to pass, you will not be able to earn the certificate with just a Streamlit app. Who chooses the peers for the peer review? Do I need to arrange the peers? So it is randomly assigned. So it's the system just randomly selects 3 people and assigns them to your project. And we have recorded live sessions, so we can refer to it when we are not attending the class. Yes. So this stream is recorded right now. What do you recommend for taking the course? The fork the official repo or working or create, like just create a new repo and then put all your homework there. You don't need to fork it. Can we use personal blog posts for learning in public, or does it have to be one of the social networking websites? You can use your personal blog. And then if you share the article, the link to your personal blog in Twitter, you can, social or LinkedIn, you can get extra points. So why not do that? I mean, if you care about points, of course. If you don't, then yeah, of course you don't need to do that. Is ML Zoomcamp enough to become an industry-ready ML engineer? Yes, it's enough. You don't need to use, like statistical learning is good, but it's very theoretical. If you want to be a machine learning engineer, like you should focus more on applications, not on theory, in my opinion. Of course, there will be companies that will really grill you on theory and they will go deep down, but not many of them will do that. Do you need any subscriptions or to purchase any API access? You don't have to. You might want to. We will use AWS in the course. And things we will do are not a part of the free tier. So you will need to spend maybe like $2 or something like that if you want, but all of this is optional, right? I think for Kubernetes, maybe it will be like $5 in total, because for Kubernetes, it's kind of expensive. Expensive in a sense that it's not like 1 cent, but maybe 5. I don't remember. Maybe it's like 10 per hour or 20 per hour. Anyways, like you will not lose much if you do that, right? And the skills you will get if you just do that, like it will pay off. Because like if you can show to your potential employer that you can do stuff in AWS, then you can get higher salary. Why not invest like this $5 in that? So you should do this. But again, like if for some reasons you cannot do this, maybe you live in a country where you cannot have access to AWS, you don't have a card. There could be a million reasons why you cannot do this. It's fine. You can complete the course. You can complete a project without using any paid services. So why do you not cover other multi-classification techniques or clustering or recommender systems? Because there are so many things to cover. Like if we try to cover everything, then this course will require maybe a year to complete. So based on my experience as a data scientist, I've did this for like almost 10 years. I selected the topics that I think are most important ones based on my personal experience. And of course, I also worked with clustering. I also worked with recommender systems. It's just something I think you can learn after learning these things that we cover. You can learn it yourself. And yeah, if you don't have experience with recommender systems, you can still get hired to work on recommender systems if you know other things, right? And then you just will learn on the job, right? So I think the things we cover here are the fundamental things, and the rest you can learn after these ones. So, and then when I was writing for the book, I thought, like, what are the most important things that I should cover? So these are the things you see now in the course and in the book. Which Python libraries will we be learning in the course? So we'll use NumPy, Pandas, scikit-learn, Keras, and TensorFlow. So we will not use PyTorch. I know right now PyTorch is more popular than Keras. The concepts are still the same. And what you can also do is you can just take the code we have in Keras, put it to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, hey, convert this Keras code to PyTorch, and then just follow the course in PyTorch. So totally possible. And you will kind of learn two things, I guess. I am a DevOps engineer and new to Python. Is there any prerequisites to attend this course? So I talked about prerequisites, and if you're a DevOps engineer, you probably know Ruby or I don't know, Bash or something. For you, picking Python should not be difficult. How will having machine learning skills going to be to benefit DevOps? That's a good question, but I think this is something you need to answer, right? Not me. Well, if you work with a machine learning team at your company, then of course it's going to benefit. If not, then I don't know. Like I guess you need to have your own motivation for doing that. Okay, let me answer a few more, and then we will call it a day for today. So, are we going to be done by January? I'm also enrolled in data engineering course. So yes, we are going to finish everything ideally by end of December, right? If you're going to go for Capstone 2, you will also need to spend some time in January. If you want to work on article, you can do this in January. We will also have a competition which will end in January. So there will be some activities in January, but you should be done by end of December. So yeah. Are we going to cover PyTorch Fast AI for deep learning? No, but as I said, feel free to use ChatGPT to do that. Also, some students, what they did is they wrote articles converting the content we have with Keras to PyTorch, and you will find links in our repo. So let me answer this question and we'll finish for today. Will the course cover neural networks and traditional ML models, including ensemble models? Yes. I don't know if I should go into details, but yes, you will find out more. There is a module on trees, and then we cover random forest, which is an ensemble model. XGBoost, gradient boosting trees, and is an ensemble model. And there is a module on deep learning. So yes. Okay. Thanks for your attention. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. give us a star, tell your friends about this amazing course. And yeah, well, that's it for today. Have fun, enjoy learning, and see you soon. I'll need to make an announcement saying, hey, like the course has officially started. Here's the first homework.